we could, in the United States, make as great a variety of wines as are made in Europe. Not exactly the same kinds, but doubtless as good.
Jefferson knew instinctively that by climate, by soil, and grape varieties, we could produce our own style. He had that faith in our country. And he was right, except it took only 150 years.
No occupation is so delightful to me as the cultivation of the earth.
When we planted the vineyard at Monticello, we planted 22 different varieties, which are the one Jefferson had, and all of them are doing very well. So we are in a very special place. There are microclimates which are suitable for a lot of different varieties.
When you read the journey notes of Jefferson, about his journey in this area, we have a lot of detail, and it's the only source we have about those details. So I think this testimony of Mr. Jefferson is for us very important.
No nation is drunken where wine is cheap, and none sober where the dearness of wine substitutes ardent spirits as the common beverage.
Jefferson was entirely committed to assuring the success of the country that he had helped to found. And his interest in wine is but one example of his commitment to his country. He knew that the country could not succeed without an educated and informed citizenry. And I think that his interest in wine is an example of a way in which he thought that life in America could be improved and also could equal and perhaps even surpass life in the old world.
Wine, from long habit, has become an indispensable for my health.
Jefferson's interest in wine went far beyond just drinking. I mean, he was into every aspect of it. He was into lowering the taxes on wine because he thought there was a virtue in wine, stating that no nation is drunken where wine is cheap. He imported it. He told people how to import it. He discussed the trellising of the vines in Germany, in France, and in Italy. He had vineyards of his own at Monticello. Unfortunately, we don't know of a bottle of wine that he made from those vineyards. But obviously, it's clear that he intended to make wine. When he was in France, he wrote back to one of the vintners that came over with Matze, and he said, "How do my vineyard come on? Are there any grapes ready for making wine? If there is, please send me a few bottles." And Giannini wrote back and said that he had not been able to make any wine because everyone was eating the grapes before they were ripe.
I think he would have been pleased to have known what has happened out here in California, especially in Napa Valley. So I think we're able to fulfill his dream of making great wines and making a number of really outstanding wines that are now sold all over the world and compete as world-class wines. So I think his goal has been fulfilled.
I like the dreams of the future better than the history of the past.